All right, so every once in a while, yeah, our 70 is set up for, ideally for surface distance measurement, but sometimes we might want to walk over the top of a flaw and measure the depth to where we walk over the top. I'm not going to say a tip because it's really not like a tip, because you're walking up the face of the flaw till you go over the top, and when you see the center of the signal, the peak of the signal, walk over the top, we're going to call it there. So we're going to take the cal that we had for the 70 and change it so that we could use it for taking a depth measurement to the top of a flaw when we walk over the top. So these flaws should either be extremely deep ID connected flaws or near OD flaws. We shouldn't normally be using this to do depth sizing to a flaw for something that's near ID or mid-wall. We should be trying to do that with the 60 or the 45. But when you do want to measure to a tip, this is how you do it. I usually just will change temporarily my 70 cal, and I do it by I'll walk over the top of the 210 notch, which the depth to the top of that notch is 90. 300 minus 210 is 90. Am I frozen? F, frozen, okay. And let's see. So where I walk over the top, oscillate, back and forth, oscillate, right around there, 110. So I'm going to take my 0, I'm going to hit the go back twice, get back to my 0, and I'm going to 0 that in so it says 90. Oops, too much. All right, oops. There we go. I'm going to call that good. All right, so let's see how we do on depth to the top of the flaw for some of the deeper ones. So we'll start with the 210. That's a deep one. We just did that. That should be right there at about 90 deep. Yeah, so we can call that 90. Should be at 90. We told it to be 90. And let's fill that in. So for the 210 notch at 90, and we're seeing that at 90. All right, next one, that's the 180 notch. Depth to the top of that notch is 120. Oscillate, back and forth. See, I'm getting a little bit of a standing wave here. So I want to read through that best I can. So I'm seeing it right around there, 123. 123. Let's try another one. This is the 150 notch. That's my favorite notch. The depth to the top of the 150 is 150. So there's a little bit of a difference here. You can see there's a louder corner, and then there's another signal walking up the face, which is a different distance than the corner. That's why we see two signals there. But I don't like to think of this as a tip. It's more like just walking up the face until we go over the top of the face. And where we're going over the top, pretty close to 150. And let's try one more. That's the 120 notch. The depth to the top of the flaw is 180. So I'm watching the signal in front. isolate. Yeah, right about there, 183. So those all come out pretty close. That works pretty well, but I only use that for like the near OD or extremely deep ID flaws. And I usually don't save this as a separate cal. Whenever I need it, I'll just go ahead and go to my 90 deep tap and peak that up until I have it peaked up and walk it with 0 to where it's 90 deep. And then I'll use that cal. So I don't save this, I just make an adjustment and use this. But you could save this as a separate cal if you wanted to give it a separate name for yourself. Okay, thanks a lot.